There is something happening inside you right now. Not a feeling you chose, not a thought you invited. It is a pattern, a quiet, invisible loop running in the background of your life. And the terrifying part is this: you are not even aware it is running. You just notice the results, the exhaustion, the distance between who you are and who you imagined you would be. The feeling that life keeps moving forward and somehow you are still standing in the same place. This video is not about fixing you, because you are not broken. But there is something you need to see. Most people think the problem is discipline, or motivation, or willpower. They tell themselves, if I just tried harder, everything would be different. But that thought itself, that constant self-accusation, is part of the pattern. The mindset quietly destroying your life is not laziness. It is the belief that you need to earn the right to be okay. That rest is a reward. That peace is something you graduate into. That one day, when you finally figure yourself out, then life can begin. Psychologists call this conditional self-worth, and it is one of the most quietly devastating belief systems a person can carry. Here is what is actually happening inside your brain. From a very young age, most of us learned a hidden lesson. Love, approval, and safety felt conditional. They came when we performed well, when we were agreeable, when we did not take up too much space. And so your nervous system built a rule. I am acceptable when I am achieving. I am safe when I am productive. I am worthy when I am doing enough. This rule gets wired so deep that it stops feeling like a belief and starts feeling like reality. Your brain does not question it. It just enforces it. Every time you rest, it sends a signal. Guilt. Every time you fail, it confirms the rule. You are not enough. Every time you succeed, it moves the finish line. This is not a character flaw. This is a brain doing exactly what it was trained to do. Think of your mind as an operating system. Most people spend years upgrading their apps. New habits, new morning routines, new goals. But the operating system underneath, the core belief about who you are, remains untouched. And so the apps crash over and over. Not because the apps were bad, but because the system was never updated. Here is another way to understand it. Imagine your mind as a radar tower. It is constantly scanning, not for opportunity, not for beauty. It is scanning for evidence that you are falling short. And it will always find some, because that is what it was calibrated to look for. This is why you can receive 10 compliments and 1 criticism and only remember the criticism. Your radar is not broken. It is just pointed in the wrong direction. And finally, think of conditional self-worth as fog. It does not stop you from moving, but it makes every step feel uncertain, every decision heavy, every choice weighed against some invisible standard you can never fully see. You keep walking, but you never feel like you are arriving. I want you to hear something. You are not behind. You are not failing at life. You are carrying a weight that most people never even name. The fact that you feel this tension between who you are and who you think you should be is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign that you are aware, and awareness is the beginning of everything. You did not choose this pattern. It was handed to you, quietly, slowly, by a world that often confused performance with personhood. The guilt you feel when you rest, that is not your conscience. That is an old rule, and old rules can be rewritten. So what do you actually do with this? You do not need a new system. You do not need to optimize your morning. You do not need to try harder. What you need is a different question. Instead of asking, "What do I need to do today to be enough?" try asking, "What would I do today if I already believed I was enough?" That is not a small shift. That is a seismic one. Because the first question keeps you running. The second question lets you choose. And choice, real, calm, unhurried choice, is what the self-critical mind almost never allows. Start small. Notice when the guilt arrives. Do not fight it. Just name it. There is the old rule again. That simple act of naming creates distance, and distance creates space. And space is where something new can grow. The mindset quietly destroying your life is not a character flaw. It is a survival strategy that outlived its usefulness. It kept you safe once. It earned you approval once. It helped you navigate a world that felt uncertain. But you are not that version of yourself anymore. And the question is no longer, how do I do enough to deserve peace? The question is, can I practice peace, even before I feel like I have earned it? That is not something you figure out in a single video or a single week. But it begins with a moment exactly like this one, where you slow down, where you look honestly at what is running beneath the surface, and where you decide that understanding yourself is not a luxury. It is the most important work you will ever do.